Hi guys, welcome back to another Mindful Motherhood Monday. If you're new around here, I do these videos every Monday at 7 p.m. and today's topic is all about lowering your expectations. I've been doing a lot of that since I became a mum of two. I have a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. Whenever I lower my expectations, I feel so much more content and happier. So today I want to talk to you guys about this whole lowering your expectations. What does it mean? Is it any good for you? So let's just get straight into it. So whilst doing my research, I came across this phrase that said, the secret to happiness is low expectations. And I'd love to know what you think about this. Do you agree with this sentence or not? I kind of agree and disagree at the same time, but I'll tell you more about why later on in the video, but I'd love to know what you think. Do you think the secret to happiness is low expectations, or do you think there's more to it than that? And another thing that I came across that I'd like to share with you is this phrase by a guy called Rob Rutledge, which says, happiness depends not on how well things are going, but whether things are going better or worse than expected. And that really highlights the fact that our expectations really have a big impact on our happiness. I connected with that phrase as soon as I read it, and it really rang true to me, the fact that things can be going really well, but if my expectations are ridiculously high, then I will feel unhappy or disappointed in myself. So that made me think even more about happiness, contentment and expectations as a parent, because as we know, we all want what's best for our kids, don't we? Always and forever. So how do we manage those expectations? How do we become the best parents that we can be without constantly feeling unhappy or disappointed that we're not doing enough or that we should be doing more for our children? There is one area of my life as a parent that makes me feel a little bit on edge, and I'll be completely honest with you guys here because there's no point in not being honest. And it is the whole sort of clubs and, classes and baby groups and all that stuff. I didn't do much of it, partly because I didn't like it, didn't feel comfortable doing like the baby groups, toddler groups. It just wasn't my thing, and I much preferred doing things with my kids in our own environment. And other part because it's something that makes me feel uncomfortable. It's out of my comfort zone. It's not something that comes naturally to me to just go and enroll in a club and take my kids every week and do this whole kind of socializing thing. But that's a huge part of a child's life and growing up, especially when they go to school and they start having their friends and they're all doing swimming lessons and tennis lessons and all of this and that. I had put a ridiculous amount of high expectations on having those those things for my kids, and because I hadn't done them, it was a permanent little guilt that I was feeling every day and every week or whenever I thought about the subject. And then I brought it all back to my own childhood, and how many after school clubs did I do? How many things outside of school and my normal life did I do? And not very many. And I turned out okay. I didn't have any resentment towards my parents. I didn't feel like they failed me in any way. And eventually I ended up doing my own thing and discovering my own interests. So when I realized that, I decided it was time to lower my expectations with my own children and just be happy about the way that we are and not compare to what other families are doing and how many activities their children are enrolled in. I've also lowered my expectations of what I can accomplish in a day. It was something that was making me so stressed, and I don't know if any of you can relate to that. Putting so much pressure on what you're going to do that day and what tasks you're going to accomplish and how much time you're going to spend cleaning, tidying, playing, going out and doing all of this, and then all these expectations just make you so stressed and unhappy if you don't get around to doing everything that you expected to do. So lowering my expectations for my day has been an absolute sanity saver for me. I've done that over the last month or so, and I just feel so much more relaxed on a day-to-day basis. Obviously there are days that are really hectic and there's nothing I can do about it, But just knowing and being aware, and that's what mindful motherhood is all about, is being aware and being mindful of the choices that you're making as a parent in order to improve your life, not just personal, but as a mum or a dad. And that's what's really helped me in terms of lowering my expectation. It's just knowing that I'm taking on too many things, that I've put too many things on my to-do list and crossing a few off, and being mindful that I'm only one person and there's only so much that I can accomplish in a day, and that I should be happy if I only manage to do the laundry or emptying the dishwasher. Why shouldn't I be happy? I feel like we cut other people so much slack, and we don't judge or criticize our friends and family when we go to their houses and their houses are messy for whatever reason. If we don't do that for other people, why don't we do that for ourselves as well? Why do we put those ridiculously high expectations that our house needs to be pristine and immaculate if people come over? Otherwise we're just going to be so disappointed and unhappy. So maybe we should practice on ourselves the things that we do for others, and how forgiving and how accommodating we are with other people. You know, just accepting that they're human, and so are we. But here is where it gets a little bit complicated. We know that having expectations is a key thing for self-improvement. How do we strike a balance between having expectations and being happy and content? Because essentially having expectations or standards is one of the things that motivate us to improve and to do better. But then on the other hand, being content means lowering your expectations and accepting that not everything is going to be accomplished and done, and being happy with it. So how do you find a balance? And in my opinion, I think it's all about timing and what you feel like is more important for you in your life at the moment. Do you feel like you need more contentment, or do you feel like you need more motivation? And depending on your answer, then you've got the tool to do what you need to do. You either increase your expectations because you want motivation and you want that self-improvement, or you lower your expectations because you want to live a more content life and to be happier day to day without putting too much pressure on yourself. So I want to know your opinions on this, and I want to know where you are in your life. Do you want more contentment, or do you want more improvement? I am definitely at the point where I need more contentment. I've been living a very high expectations improvement life for a very long time, and I feel like it peaked, and now I need to feel content with what I'm doing, with who I am, especially as a parent. I need to feel like the little things that I do with my kids are worth more than the huge efforts and the big demonstrations of love and affection. I need to feel like my work is enough as it is, instead of putting in the hours and the extra hours and the extra hours and never stopping work. So I'm at that point in my life, but I feel like, you know, it's a constant come and go from one to the other, and I want to stop somewhere in the middle. I want to get to the middle of it where I'm content enough, but I still have motivation and drive to improve. And I don't know if that's possible. It sounds very difficult to achieve, but that's where I am, and I'd love to know where you are in your life and whether or not you agree that happiness, the secret to happiness, is lowering your expectations. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Mindful Motherhood video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and share it with your friends if you feel like they might like this topic. I'll leave a playlist linked below of all my Mindful Motherhood videos. I've talked about things like treating parenting as a relationship and not a job, watching what you say around your children and how your language can affect the way that your children feel towards you, and many more topics. So if you fancy watching videos like that today, then please click on the playlist below to watch those videos. If you're new around here, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. It's free and you get notifications when there's a new video from me. Like I said, I do a Mindful Motherhood video on a Monday, and then Wednesdays and Fridays I do general parenting videos, beauty videos, fashion, lifestyle, vlogs, just a lot of things in between. And yeah, hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!